Okay.
Say hi to Alexis.
Oh, fingerprint. Oh, sorry, you can't see. Wait, who's Lexus?
She's my friend.
Is it that?
No, that's not her. I can show you a picture for her later, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, today, we will be reading Snow White. There we go. Snow White. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a lovely queen sat by her window sewing. As she worked, she pricked her finger with her needle. 3 drops of blood fell on the snow-white linen. How happy I would be if I had a little girl with lips as red as blood, skin as white as snow, and hair as black as ebony, thought the queen as she sewed. When spring came, her wish was granted. A little daughter was born to the queen and king. She was all her mother had desired, but the queen's happiness was very brief. As she held her lovely baby in her arms, the queen whispered, "Little Snow White," and then she died. When the lonely king married again, his new queen was beautiful, but alas, she was also very heartless and cruel. She was very jealous of all the lovely ladies of the kingdom, but most jealous of all of the lovely little princess, Snow White. Now, the queen's most prized possession was her magic mirror. Every day she looked into it and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all?" If the magic mirror replied that she was the fairest in the kingdom, all was well, but if another lady was named, the queen flew into a fierce rage. She would summon her huntsman and have her killed. As the years passed, Snow White grew more and more beautiful, and her sweet nature made everyone in the kingdom love her, everyone but the queen. The queen's chief fear was that Snow White might grow to be the fairest in the land, so she banished the young princess to the servants' quarters. She made Snow White dress in rags and forced her to slave from morning to night. But while she worked and lived in the servants' quarters, Snow White dreams of a handsome prince who would come some day and carry her off to his castle in the clouds. And as she dusted and scrubbed and dreamed, Snow White grew more beautiful day by day. At last came the day the queen had been dreading. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all?" And the mirror replied, "Her lips blood red, her hair like night, her skin like snow, her name, Snow White." The queen's face grew pale with anger. The queen rushed from the room and called her huntsman to her. "Take Princess Snow White into the forest and bring me back her heart in the jeweled box," she said. The huntsman bowed his head in grief. He had no choice but to obey the cruel queen's demands. Snow White had no fear of the kindly huntsman. She went happily into the forest with him. It was beautiful there among the trees, and the princess... What are you doing?
Don't just keep moving.
It was beautiful there among the trees, and the princess, not knowing what was in store for her, skipped along beside the huntsman. Okay.
Dun 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 dun. Keep on reading.
Okay, but can you listen to the book? Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
The huntsman watched Snow White as she skipped and sang through the forest. At last the poor huntsman could bear it no longer. He fell to his knees before the princess. "I cannot kill you, princess," he said, "even though it is the queen's command. Run into the forest and hide, but you must never return to the castle." Then away went the huntsman. On his way back to the castle, he killed a small animal and took its heart in the jeweled box to the wicked queen. Alone in the forest, Snow White wept with fright. Deeper and deeper into the woods she ran, half blinded by tears. It seemed to her that the roots of trees reached up to trip her feet. Their branches reached out to clutch at her dress as she passed. At last, weak with terror, Snow White fell to the ground. As the sun began to set, she lay there, sobbing her heart out, ever so quickly, out from the burrows and nests and hollow trees kept the land animals. Bunnies and chipmunks, raccoons and squirrels gathered around to keep watching over her. When Snow White You are silly.
Just keep reading.
Okay. But remember, this is for my friend.
Sorry, Ryan's friend. So I just make funny things all the time. So he really likes it. Ryan, keep going. Okay? Ryan, just read, okay?
Okay.
Don't read.
When Snow White looked up and saw them there, she smiled through her tears. At the sight of her smile, the little animals crept closer, snuggling in her lap or nestling in her arms. Yeah, I'm gonna finish reading the story. Would you like to listen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. When Snow White looked up and saw them there, she smiled through her tears. At the sight of her smile, the little animals crept closer, snuggling in her lap or nestling in her arms. The birds sang their gayest melodies to Snow White. The little forest clearings was filled with joy. I feel ever so much better now, Snow White told her new friends, but I will need a place to sleep. One of the birds chirped something. The little animals nodded in agreement. Then off flew the birds. The rabbits, chipmunks, and squirrels followed her, and Snow White came along with her arm around the neck of a gentle mother deer. At last, through a tangled brush, Snow White saw a tiny cottage which was nestled in a clearing at the hill. It's just like a
Yeah, keep on reading.
At last, through a tangle of brush, Snow White saw a tiny cottage which was nestled in a clearing up ahead. It's just like a doll's house, and she clapped her hands in delight.
Lollipop! Ooh, a lollipop!
Skipping across a little bridge to the house, Snow White peeked and through one window pane. There seemed to be no one at home, but the sink was pulled high with cups and saucers and plates which looked as though they had never been washed. Dirty little shirts and wrinkled little trousers hung over chairs, and everything was blanketed with dust. Maybe the children who live here have no mother. And Snow White said so. They need someone to take care of them. Let's go in their house and surprise them. So in she went, followed by her forest friends. Snow White found an old broom in the corner and swept the floor, while the little animals all did their best to help. Then Snow White washed all the crumbled little clothes and set a kettle on delicious soup to bubbling in her head. Now, she said to the animals, let's see what is upstairs. The woodwind animals followed Snow White up the stairs. There are 7 little beds and all around. Why, they have their names carved on them, said Snow White. Duck, Happy, Sneezy, Dopey, such funny names for children. Grumpy, Bashful, Sleepy. My, I'm a little sleepy myself. Yawning, Snow White sank down across the little beds and fell asleep. Quietly, the little animals stole away, and the birds flew out the window. All was still in the tiny little house in the forest.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Can you see?
Okay. Hey, Derek. So I'm gonna stop there for today. Derek, say bye to Alexis.
Bye. Thank you. Leave a message.